Hello. So, yeah, I haven't really uploaded in a while. It's been ages. I have tried to record content, but none of it's been good enough, so I've kind of just stopped or not uploaded it purely out of boredom. This time I want to actually change it, and before all my content has been is just me trolling my friends or just a really terrible let's play. So I thought I might as well try and make some content that's actually somewhat useful to someone. So that's why I'm going to be talking about the best creatures in the least played map, which I also think is the most underrated map, Scorched Earth. So yeah, let's get right into it. Coming up in number 10, we've got the Juboa, this little guy. Now these guys are really useful. They might look like a tiny little thing that's completely helpless, and that is very true. But what you can use them for is they can alert you of various storms. So there's sandstorms that can happen, there's thunderstorms that can shut off your generator, there's heat waves that are really dangerous. There's all kinds of stuff that can happen here in Scorched Earth, and this little guy will start doing various calls. Like, I know that there is, like, majority of people don't know the calls, and that's like pretty reasonable, as some of them are really weird and they don't happen super often. Like, a weather event will typically happen once every 40 minutes, roughly. So you're not going to exactly memorize them off by heart unless you have like a multiple hour long session of playing. But yeah, just like, it doesn't sound like much, but just having them alert you of the little weather events is also quite cool. As you can see, I have put a hat on it, by the way. That's a cool little feature. And these guys, you can just pick them up and have them on your shoulder. Then while you're going around Scorched Earth, you'll hear a sound, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, it's time to like get to somewhere safe. Or, oh no, I gotta get back to base real quick because it's gonna shut off my generators and they need to be ready to protect my base. Stuff like that. So that's why this little guy is just so invaluable. Just, yeah, that's the Juboa. Alright, so taking number 9 spot, we have the Morellatops. This guy is very easy to tame early on because it's pretty much everywhere. It's faster than the player by quite a bit, so you can get around just fine on it. Like, they're the best cactus sap gatherer, I think, in the whole game. And cactus sap is needed to make adobe, which is the only structure other than thatch that won't cook you to death immediately on Scorched Earth. So these guys are great for collecting that. Yeah, they can take on most small threats. I'm just trying to find like raptors. Seeing as we're here in the water, I might as well show you one of their abilities. So if you look at this, their water fills up when they're just stood there in that, and you can drink from them and use them to store water. Like water, and like fill up water jars. Even though water evaporates immediately, you can do that. Oh no, not a cat though. But yeah, so they can actually handle small threats really pretty well. Wouldn't recommend bringing them head to head with like Rexes and stuff. You will probably lose to Rexes. But other than that, they're pretty simple creatures. Just chase them around with a boomerang for a little bit and like keep throwing it at it, and then you'll knock it out, feed it berries. Really easy mount that can carry you quite far actually. You can use these guys for a decently long amount of time. But yeah, that's it with the Morellatops. Right guys, so coming in at number 8, we have my go-to starter mount, the Sabertooth. This guy's very fast. It does pretty good damage, like nothing ridiculous, but it's good enough. Like to be able to I have taken on the T-Rex before with a Saber. To be honest, most of the time if you can, it's best to just avoid danger, but if you really have to, you could take on a T-Rex with a high level Saber. They're good for just doing this, just going around picking off little small creatures and then killing them, because they have a very high, like, gathering rate. I don't know the word for it, but they're very good, like, efficient in collecting keratin, hide, and chitin. So you can just go around killing, like, smallish creatures, and then you can get loads of hide out of it. They also have a saddle, so you can upgrade their armor value, which most creatures do, and it won't make sense at the moment why, but it will in the next creature why I'm mentioning that. Of course you can pull out weapons on their back. Bear in mind, I'm on creative mode. That full would have probably done a lot of damage if I wasn't on creative mode. But easy way around that is just to dismount your creature before you get to the ground, because for some reason that makes it so that you can completely ignore any full damage that you take. But yeah, you can pull out weapons, they're fast, they do a lot of damage, they've got pretty good stats, like, that's not amazing, but you can bring it up pretty quickly, and considering the fact that this probably will be like one of your first 3 tames, like this can be your first tame, your second tame, or your third tame. In fact, sometimes it's more than that, sometimes yeah, but basically most of the time you'll want to be having one of these as like one of your first tames that you get, to get a full extent of them, because they're best like when you're early game. God, I hate Microraptors so much. Sabertooth. Sabertooth. No, there's a Pego by me, I hate Pegos. No, he took my bullets. No. Give me his back. But yeah, great creatures, Sabertooth, and the main reason that I like them, to be honest, is mainly their model. Like, whoever designed this did an amazing job. They're also just a useful creature though. Like, I don't like them just because of the way they look. They're also good creatures. But yeah, not much more other than what I've already said to say about them. So, we'll move on. Right guys, so coming in at number 7 we have the Direwolf. Now, I'm not gonna lie, by themselves these guys are pretty bad. They're pretty much literally a Sabertooth that's worse at gathering and has no way to upgrade their armor. Like, their stats are relatively similar. They're not exactly the same, but they're pretty much the same. But yeah, by themselves, not that good. Like, Sabertooth can top a single Direwolf almost all the time. But packs like these, they get a pack bonus. So now, if we just howl, now all of us have a huge buff. Now bear in mind, originally I was doing 159 damage. We're gonna take out the styler with ease. Yeah, look at this. You can like early game, find like 4 or 5 of them, tame them all up, and then you can just take them out and just deathworm hunt, which is really useful for one of the other creatures on this list. But yeah, we'll get to that later. So I'll try and see if I can find a deathworm, but it might take a while. So they have pretty much all the bonuses that the Saber has. You can pull out snow, like a weapon, but they get that big pack bonus, so it's kind of like a trade-off. You trade off the like less armor for quite a lot more damage, but it's not ideal like as your first tame, because they don't really have anywhere near as much armor value, and they're more difficult to tame because you find them in huge like bunches, so you can't pick off one. So for those reasons they are above the Saber, just because deathworm hunting on these guys is insanely easy, and if you're wanting to kill as many deathworms as possible as early as possible, these are probably the best creature to do so with. But they are like, as a like first tame, they're not the best, because as I said, find them in big bunches, they get that pack bonus, and then it's really difficult. So yeah, that's why the Direwolf takes its place in number 7. Right guys, so now we are on number 6, I believe, and this is the Argentavis. One of the best creatures in the whole game. Like, on this map specifically, they can't live up to their potential that they can on other maps, but they're still so good. Like, there's really basically nothing that the RG can't do. Look at this, it's picked up this huge Dodicarus, and then it's just going to carry it around. Then we can pick it up and we can hit it like this in our claws. It does a lot of damage. Bear in mind guys, this huge drop in damage is because of Dodic's shell. But yeah, so they can do similar damage to the Direwolf and the Saber, and they're also a couple K health more tanky. You get these guys 10k health really easily. Look, 500 weight to start with, that's ridiculous. 500k, 500% melee damage is ridiculous. Health's not amazing, but it can be brought up really easily, and 1000 stamina, not bad at all. So these guys can kill, like they can pick up loads of small stuff, like harvesting creatures. Like this guy I'm killing right now, Dodicarus, probably the best stone gatherer in the whole game. This guy can carry it with you. You can carry Dodix around with you. There's Parasaur over here. Guess what? I can carry it, and it's literally bigger than me, and it looks absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, these guys are capable of killing nearly anything. On this map, I think there's only 2 creatures, like, that, not including the Manticore, that you'll struggle to kill, and those are, like, bear in mind on other people's settings it might be different, but on my settings an Argentavis should only struggle with Wyverns and Rock Elementals. And bear in mind, I have killed Rock Elementals before. It took quite a while, but me on an RG, my friend on an RG, and then another friend on a Direwolf, and we did kill a Rock Elemental. In fact, it was actually like basically right here. It took like 5 minutes of tag team. Yeah, it was this exact spot actually. There was a Rock Elemental like there, and then we kept going in and hitting it like that, and then flying back up here and landing when we need stamina, and doing that basically. And then at the end, when my friend was finally able to catch up on the Direwolf, we just all went ham and just all spammed attack, and we were eventually able to kill it. because we had a little nice base near the green orb, right below that plateau there. But yeah, that's not what the RG's about. Killed a little cute Juboa. But yeah, they also get weight reduction in loads of resources. I don't have a pickaxe and I can't be bothered to craft one just because, yeah, lazy. But they have like extreme weight reduction on most resources, like obsidian, metal, wood, you name it. And they probably get weight reduction in it. Oh, by the way, that's just an example to show you how quickly you can get them to 10k health. And then you can use the carnivore trick to force feed it, and then it will heal up pretty quickly. So yeah, Argentavis is amazing. Would recommend them to on pretty much any map where you can get them except Extinction. They are one of the best creatures in the game. And also, now I think about it, Crystal Isles. But we're talking about Scorched Earth today. Okay? Just killed a raptor. But yeah, that's the RG. Right guys, so next we have the Thylacoleo, the marsupial lion. These guys are so good. They're like the upgraded Sabertooth, like the Sabertooth's big brother. You know how I was talking about how direwolves were a great method of killing deathworms? These guys are like one Sabertooth, so they have all the advantages of the Sabertooth in that they get like the saddle, and they're pretty good at collecting resources. They're not as good at as Sabertooths, but you can kill bigger and stronger creatures with them because they're more powerful, so you can still get that same quantity of hide very quickly. Generally they have insanely high base stats. Like these guys can beat up so much. Let's kill this Capro. Get out of here, Capro. But yeah, they have bleed damage as well, which is really good. Of course you can pull out your gun on their back. I literally only have that long range just so I can show you guys that you can pull out weapons on the back of creatures. So what you can do is you can chase stuff with this. So you can like have your tranks out and then you can like shoot something and then like have it come and hit like up to you. Let's just reposition ourselves so we're in a better spot. And you can just sit there shooting it like this, and then because the Thylacoleo's a flipping tank, it can just tank all the hits. And then when the thing gets to the point where it's running, because it's nearly unconscious, Thyla's really fast, so you'll be able to keep up just fine. Just jump and then mid-air shoot. That's the best way, because if you run with a gun out while you're on the ground, the creatures will be very, like, for some reason there's a thing where when you're in first person on a creature holding out a gun, they just don't run fully straight, and it's quite annoying. It's very difficult to control, so just jump like this, then pull out a gun and then shoot. It takes practice, but when you can learn to do it, it's really good. Also, one of the main, like, cool things about the Thyla is that, let me just try and find, you know what this should do. They can climb up some walls, and I say some walls because they're very picky as to what they choose to climb up. But when they will climb up something, which is not a lot of the time to be honest, but when they will, you can go straight up like vertical things. The way to tell if they'll be able to go up it is it vertical or not, basically. That's the main way to tell. Because if it's vertical and like mainly flat, yeah, look here, we're doing it. but because there's overhangs, we couldn't make it the full way. Should be able to make it this time though. Oh wait, no. But yeah, as you can see, they're pretty picky. They will only climb up some walls, and yeah. It's useful to have, but it doesn't work all the time, so yeah. Bear in mind that it's a possibility, but don't rely on it to save your life, is pretty much the way to think about it. Oh, Capro, no. I hate those things so much. Where is it? Capro, where are you? No? Okay, there it is. We just wrecked that thing. But yeah, Thylers are so good. You need these guys, especially on Scorched Earth. Like on other maps, they're amazing, but Scorched Earth is like the main place where they really shine, and that's mostly due to lack of flyers. But yeah, the Thyler. Would you look at that? Heatwave. So that is how useful the Juboa is, because if I didn't hear that sound, I wouldn't have had a clue that something was gonna happen, and I could have been like well away from my base. And bear in mind, your health goes down super fast. I'm on creative mode, so it won't show that, but your health goes down super fast during heat waves, so I'd have probably died and lost all my stuff. And that's why you need a Juboa. Like, they're little and they won't provide as much value as the others, but they're so easy to get that there's no point in not getting them. So yeah, let's actually get to the next thing on the list. Taking the number 4 spot, we have the TRex. Yeah, it's a TRex. There's not too much I need to say about this. Like, a TRex is just a huge creature that can kill basically anything. They can't kill Titanosaurs, but other than that, they can kill everything on this map with pretty, yeah, in fact, really easily. Really high base health, pretty good stamina, good weight as well, and also very good melee. These are my go-to for completing the boss on this map. Argentavises are also a good choice, but these guys are definitely like a bit better because they can tank just about anything. They can like really dish out the hits. They can collect even more hide than the Sabertooth, and that's not due to the fact that they're just big and strong. They literally have high hide gathering effectiveness. Like, they'll get more hide per creature than your average creature. Oh hey look, it's T-Rex. We can have an epic kaiju battle. But yeah, as you can see, a tamed T-Rex will take on a wild T-Rex with very, very high ease. I don't even think that makes sense in proper English. But yeah, like, you will have no trouble. As soon as you've got a T-Rex, like, the world is your oyster. You are set, you are safe, nothing can harm you. Like, and I say, they won't be able to kill a Titanosaur, but you won't need to kill a Titanosaur because they're just, like, they're friendly. Titanosaurs won't hurt you. They'll just leave you alone unless you bite them, but as soon as you bite them, your entire base and all of your creatures are gone, so don't do that. And bear in mind, I'm speaking from experience. Yeah, it's really bad. I cried. But yeah, not a lot to say about the T-Rex other than the fact that you, yeah, never worry about fighting stuff again, really. they can solo death worms, like even alpha death worms, with no problem at all. Just get a good high level breeding pair of these, breed up an army of like 20 or so of them. Boss fight will be easy. Killing anything will be easy. In fact, even a Titanosaur, if you get a good enough army of these, you can kill a Titanosaur. Let me kill Terrorbird first, because Terrorbirds annoy me, okay? But yeah, also, while you're sat on a T-Rex, stuff won't really aggro on you, because they know that thing is huge, there is no way that I can kill that. So a lot of like smaller annoying stuff like Terrorbirds and Sabertooths will leave you alone. Was that Juboa sound poop or what? I think it was a poop sound. No, it's doing it again. No, there's going to be a storm. Guys, this is an example of what I was talking about with the Juboa sounds. I'll try and wait for it to do it again. Yeah, so that there means a heat wave, I think, because it's like, it doesn't have like sun cream, so what it does is it digs in the ground and covers itself in sand. So yeah, I'll stop recording, and then when the heat wave happens, I will start recording again to prove my point or see if I was wrong. Coming in at number 3. The rock elemental. Now, gotta say, I'm very much a PvE player. I do still play PvP, but not that much. But this is one creature that I've got to say you can't exactly miss. Like, from the little PvP experience I have, I know that these guys are amazing. They're not too hard to tame if you use a method that another YouTuber called Nooblets used. Yeah, just go look up Nooblets rock elemental taming, and then it will come up with how to get one of these guys really easily. They are pretty good stone gatherers. Like, if you look at this, they're probably a bit worse than the Dodic, but they still do it really well. They can kill Rexes with even more ease than Rexes themselves. Like, they're stronger than Rexes. Like, they will flatten just about anything. They have very high weight. They have a lot of health, but also bear in mind that they have huge damage reductions to literally anything. Like, look at how much health this guy has. 10k health. And shoot him right in the head with a long neck. He's taken like 1 or 2 damage. And then if we go shoot something else, like this Thorny Dragon here, 284 damage. Like, this guy is really good at soaking, probably the best soaker in the game. He's not that good against tech turrets. I wouldn't recommend bringing him in against tech turrets, but not too much to say about this guy. They also have, it's quite annoying actually, they always get encumbered by the rocks that you accidentally harvest while fighting something. They also have 2 secondary abilities. They have this, throw a big rock. Not actually fully sure how much damage it does, and it's very inaccurate, but it's a cool feature. By the way, they eat stones, so they're really easy to keep fed. And then it also has a 3rd attack, which is a big punch like that does loads of like AoE. You can attack so many enemies at once with it, but they don't have that great. There's an Archer TRex. But yeah, you can hit a lot of enemies at once with it, but it doesn't do as much damage. as the normal, like, standard attack. It does have the benefit though of having significantly more knockback. Like, it does so much knockback, that little attack. And for those reasons, the Rock Elemental is in number 3. Not too much I need to say about this guy, other than the fact that he's amazing. Just a tip for soaking though, quickly. Keep your head up like this, so then he can't hit the, like, bullets can't go and hit the rider, because if you get hit off the back of the Rock Elemental, that's going to be really bad. But yeah, that's the Rock Elemental. Alright guys, so taking number 2 spot, just missing out on the top spot, is the Mantis. Now this guy is my favourite gatherer in the whole game, hands down, love this thing. They are really good just all round, like, great fibre gatherer. You can also equip them with pickaxes, and then you can go and collect stone, flint, sand, metal, you name it, they can do it. You can also equip them with hatchets, then you can collect all the wood that you want. You can also get a load more stone. You can equip them with clubs, and then you can go and knock out, like, pretty big stuff. I have knocked out a Bronto once, obviously not on scorched earth, because Brontos don't spawn on scorched earth, but I have knocked out a Bronto using a Mantis before. I'll demonstrate on this Morellatops. By the way, that's the secondary attack, that big jump thing. Yeah, look how quickly I knocked that guy out. Like, pair this guy with Ascendant Clubs, you've got something that can trank out Rexes with pretty big, like, very easily. Like, look at this, you're just knocking out the Morellatops so easily. Secondary attacks this huge leap that does loads of damage, and it crits very easily. And then of course, wouldn't be complete without the ability to just give it like giant swords and just go around just doing so much damage. Like, they are actually pretty strong. Like, they are very easy to underestimate, Mantises, but they're actually pretty strong. They aren't that good in the health department though, and they also aren't that good in the weight department, but as far as just overall damage goes, these guys are very, very solid. But yeah, you know how I was talking about how you need those deathworm horns from earlier? This is what you need them for. You basically sneak up to a Mantis with a deathworm horn on your last slot. Make sure you eat bug repellent so it doesn't aggro on you. Wear ghillie suit as well, just for the extra little bit, and then you just walk up to it, crouch, and go right up to it like this, and then feed it. But make sure not to go in front of it, because if you go in front of it, it will see you and it will aggro on you. Other than that, there's not that much more else to say. The Mantis is just a fun creature, and it's got a really, really well designed model. Yeah. But what creature is possibly better than the Mantis? Now, what could possibly be better than something that you can literally equip your tools with and use to gather every single resource in the game? Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Dragons. Now, I'm not gonna lie, not the biggest fan of these. I think that there are other flies that are much better, but on Scorched Earth alone, due to its heavy lack of flyers. These guys are so good. There are 3 different types, and when I say that I mean on Scorched Earth. There are others on other maps, but this is where wyverns were originally from. So if we look, this is the poison wyvern, probably the most situational of the bunch. It's got huge poison like missile thing that it sends. It's pretty inaccurate, to be honest, but wait, what was that? But it's got like lots of splash damage. It tranks stuff. Slowly it does trank stuff. If you have really good armor and you get shot with this like 3 times, you will go unconscious from it. As you can see, not very accurate. Trying to hit that Paraceratherium. Can't hit it. Yeah, next up we have the Fire Wyvern. Very close range, kind of spread out breath that you can kind of go like that. It's got very good AoE on it. It also deals damage over time, which is always welcome. Fire does extra damage to carnivores as well, which is useful. Then last, but definitely not least, the Lightning Wyvern. That has the highest DPS of nearly anything in the game. Like, they do so much damage. It's actually ridiculous. Their stats, all of them have roughly the same stats. They have very high health, pretty good stamina, pretty high weight, good damage. But yeah, we're going to go out on the Lightning Wyvern, because while I think the Poison Wyvern looks the coolest, the Lightning Wyvern's the strongest, and therefore I can kill more things. They're capable of picking up big creatures, by the way. Let's grab Terrorbird. It's not exactly big, but they can pick up more than Argentavises can. Also, females give wyvern milk, which is what you need to feed baby wyverns. Because wyverns need, like, you go down to the trench where the wyverns live, then you steal an egg, then all of the wyverns nearby all go for you. It's really scary, especially on this map. And then you've just got to go in, like, just get out as quickly as possible, hatch the egg, then you need to go out and get wyvern milk, which you can only get by tranking out a female wyvern, killing an alpha wyvern, or like getting it from your own female wyvern. So it's not super easy to get. Like, pretty much all of those methods require you to have either spent a lot of time or tamed like something else very big. I'm really bad at picking with these guys, by the way, but let me try pick up something reasonably big. Megatherium. Yeah, look at this. You can carry Megatheriums. But yeah, I gotta say I'm not a huge fan of wyverns myself for one reason. Two reasons actually, because one, like, they're very popular, and for some reason I gravitate towards less popular things. Like, most people on Scorched Earth are gonna use a wyvern or an Argentavis, which I really like Argentavises, but I am not bothered about Wyverns at all, really. But they are the best all-round flyer on this map. But the Tapahara is what I like, because fast, basic, yeah, nice creature. It's the closest thing to a griffin on this map. But yeah, Wyverns also have a huge turning radius, which means that they can be very annoying at times to use, which I put into demonstration pretty well while trying to deal with that T-Rex. But yeah, that wraps up my list. If there's anything that you think should have been on the list that shouldn't have, do whack it in the comments. There are a few that I was very tempted to swap out, but I think that I'm happy with my decisions. There was like 3 creatures that I think probably deserved to be on here that didn't. Possibly 5. But yeah, let me know what you think. Also, if you've made it this far, it means one of 2 things. Either you actually enjoyed it, in which case hit the like button, or it's me in the future making fun of myself, in which case, yeah, don't really know what to say about that, but I kind of expect it. But yeah, like and subscribe if you want to. Not going to force you to, but it would make my day, and yeah, see you in a bit.